have the other ones available in there. But
what? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
I don't mean to bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Ojo! I learned my lesson from last night. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day?
I'm here to do you a favor, Jens. I just say later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like Boulevard Drawstream smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Woo! Woo! Yes, guys, it is Sunday. It is Sunday. This means another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their lives and their hopes and their dreams, but also their books and their campaigns. Because frankly, I'm kind of done with mainstream. Mainstream is kind of boring, and indie is where the passion is, people. Whew, I hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday. My Sunday is wonderful. I've been working today. I've been writing. I did some writing. I wrote the final 6 pages of Perfect 10 Book 5. Because I write in segments, right? So I send the artist Pow, I send him a part of the script so he can get started, right? And then I keep writing because I'm not very fast with writing. So I don't want him to wait. I want him to start. So when I have this section done and I'm completely satisfied with it, I will send it over, and he can start drawing, right? But he was catching up on me, so he has 6 more pages left to draw. So I had to write it for him, and I had the basic outline, and this weekend I added like details, and the details is where the story really comes alive. You know, it's the minor things, the minor that's really cool. That's my favorite thing. Like first you do the structure, and then later on the juicy details. That's fun, right? By the way, you can still get Perfect 10 Book 5. You can still back it and secure your own copy. And the second book, we have 2 books in this current campaign. We have Perfect 10 Book 5, but also POWERTRIP Book 2. And POWERTRIP Book 2 is finished. We finished that. I have it right here. It's printed. It's done. It's finished. So you can get this book. And so the first I shipped out 4 boxes now to Critical Blast, so he can like do distribution in the United States, and I will take care of European backers. Right, so get on that, guys. Get on that. Excellent. And I saw that Gorilla Mars is with us in the chat. Welcome, Gorilla Mar. Excellent. Double click to update. I think I'm the only one who sees that. What's up, guys? All right, thanks. And then we have wait, show on stream. We have Easlyn. Welcome, Easlyn. Nice to see you. Hello, hello. In the editing dungeon today. You are in the editing dungeon. That's right, guys. Gorilla Mar does like reviews, comic book reviews. So subscribe to his channel. Mike is here. Welcome, Mike. Good afternoon, evening, and even morning, no matter how snowy. Dave, you are getting me ever more pumped for Perfect 10 issue 5. Good. That's good. That's good. This issue is crazy, guys. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's crazy. I hope you like it. I was really satisfied with the final pages that are. I'm satisfied with the complete thing, right? But now the final pages, how do you end the issue? That's always the thing. You want to give it some sort of ending, but also some sort of lead in to the next issue, right? And I hope you guys like what we did there. Welcome, Mike. And all right, guys, it is time for the guest, a brand new guest, never been on the show before. It's great, so I can introduce you to new people and new people to you, right? So let's see what we have for today. A wonderful campaign by wonderful new guests. So let's do this, guys. Let's see if I have my video ready. I think that I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I have a very warm welcome for the guest of the hour, Mr. Tony James.
Wow, I love that.
Ooh, there he is. Wait, that's better.
How are you?
I'm good, man. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I've heard your name around Indie Comics. I saw Nandor was on the show, and I was like, oh man, maybe Dave will have me on. So
Sure.
Here we are.
Yeah, everyone's welcome here. Everyone's welcome because I just love like indie comics. I know what it's like to make comics, to buy comics, to read comics, and so I know how difficult it can be, and we all need some support, right? So might as well use this little platform, because oftentimes people invite me to their platforms, and I'm so like grateful. So this is what we do, right? So welcome. And before we dive into anything, Tony, I need to ask you the first question is, what are you drinking?
It's water. It's water. It's very boring. I'm a big water drinker.
All right. Yeah, that's good. That's a good drink. It's water.
Yeah.
You know, some people think they're putting stuff in the water. You know, that makes you like different,
Yeah.
or you know.
I mean, I haven't seen the effects, so who knows?
No, you're not aware, right? Oh wait. Sorry, I don't want to miss anything in the chat.
Got it.
So here is Mike with Dave. I see you unbox comics still. You read them too. I do read them sometimes. Yeah. I do read them sometimes. The problem is when you have so many things going on. Maybe you recognize this, Tony. You have so many things going on. You make your own books. Then you're constantly thinking about your own books, about your own story, right? So when you read other books, it takes a lot to keep you there, to keep you invested, because your mind starts to wander towards your own project, right?
Yeah. I remember I had that feeling quite a long time ago, where it was like I didn't want to I didn't want to hear about other people's books. Not that their books weren't great. It was just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my own books were starting to take more of a central focus. So yeah, there's sort of like a balance of your own work and still finding time to read other people's books.
Right. So you're a writer or artist?
Yes.
What's your role?
Yeah. I'm the writer, and artists who are much more talented than me. They put the books together.
Mhm.
So yeah, I spend most of my time writing, and then once I have a script ready to go, I send it off to the art team, and then we put something together.
Right. And are you the like the instigator or is this your project, or do
Yeah,
people hire you to write?
yeah. No, yeah, Star Noir, and my other projects. I'm kind of the main creator, the
Right.
person building the engine of the whole thing.
Mhm.
And then I bring in the artists to work on and collaborate with to make the books.
Cool. So
Yeah.
so where did it start before you decided to make your own comics?
Um,
Where did that come from?
it probably just growing up, reading the first comic that I read was the trade of the Death and Return of Superman. Like I didn't know anything about that storyline, and I just was really like blown away by like the different iterations of Superman. I thought Superboy had like the coolest look in comics,
Yeah.
so that really kind of got me kind of hooked into being a reader. And then I was kind of coming up, going through college, making short films and stuff. I was
Mm.
really disillusioned with like the Hollywood stuff because it's very corporatized. There's not a lot of room for creativity to kind of like be yourself. And then I was like, oh well, you've been reading comics like your entire life, so why not try making comics? And so I started doing that, started putting stuff on Kickstarter. That was maybe 5 or so years ago, and now here we are, making Star Noir.
Right. So you said you made short movies.
Yeah. With my in college with my friends, we just make these like
Oh,
5 minute shorts. We just run around, run around the neighborhood, just making silly little things.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of
Good
a kind
start.
of a way to kind of practice writing in the process.
Oh, sure. So you learned on how to write through writing screenplays for movies, for short movies.
Yeah. But then I started picking up like the Scott McCloud and the Will Eisner books of really trying to understand the medium
Mhm.
of making comics,
Mhm.
so that I wasn't taking like sort of the screenwriter sensibility and trying to cram it into a comic book, just trying to actually meet the comic medium like where it is, and then try to kind of tailor my stories around you know uh how many panels and page turns and what's the relationship between the way the book starts and the way the book ends.
Right. Right. Interesting. Welcome, Dylan Draws. Welcome, John. Morning,
Hello.
gents. Good morning to you, sir. Right. So because you technically knew the structure of a story,
Mhm.
because when you write for a movie, you have the beginning, the middle, the end, right? So
Mhm.
you have to like have these beats. Um, so could you use that to write comics? And what are the biggest differences that you noticed?
Well, I mean, the way that's the plot structure is, having three-dimensional characters. I mean, all of that really translates across all mediums. Doesn't really matter which it is. Um, but comics, it's really about like I said, like the number of panels, when you choose to use like a splash page, when like how you start the book, how you end the book, what you leave the reader with after a
Mhm.
book is over. One of the things that Alan Moore would always talk about in his book on writing was that he didn't like that sometimes screenwriters would come over to the medium and like take their failed screenplays and make them comics and have a total disregard for the comic medium.
Yeah,
So he always advocated for like learning like what makes a comic book and how and what are the strengths that medium affords you that like television or movies can't.
sure. Right. So you learn a lot from that, but also also from reading comics, right? When you
Oh,
read
yeah.
comics, that's the
Also,
best.
yeah,
Yeah.
just also my sensibilities of what do I want to see in a comic book, and how snappy do I want the dialogue? How quickly do I need things to the feeling of like, finishing a book and go like, I feel like for however long that book was, there was a lot going on for however many pages they gave me.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
good that you layer it.
Yeah.
So tell many tell as many things as possible without it getting crowded or whatever,
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
right. But the comic that we're presenting today is based on a screenplay or something you wanted to turn into a movie initially. Is that right?
Actually, this was
Oh,
actually this was a ground up comic book. Like I thought, like Ed Brubaker and Alan Moore, like they're kind of two of my favorite writers, and I wanted to kind of make something that emulated them a little bit, but also kind of took my own passion for old 1940s movies and alien conspiracies, putting it
all right.
together in this one kind of complete package. So it was always designed to be a comic book.
Oh, that's great. You
Mhm.
said you are crowdfunding now for 5 years. So is this isn't your first comic?
No, no. No. There's a few trial and error years
Yeah.
in crowdfunding comics, just trying to, understand what it's like to put an art team together and, stay in touch with backers and fulfilling stuff. So
Mhm.
I think Star Noir was really kind of the first time all of it was really working together. And
Oh,
we
really? Yeah.
kind of applied all of the lessons I had learned up to that point. And now Star Noir is, off to the races. It's running pretty well.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw your campaign, and you're doing
Mhm.
great. So you
Yeah.
have found some strategy that works, right? So
Yeah.
what were the biggest hurdles that you learned or that you needed to overcome?
I think finding an art team that was as passionate of the project about the project as I was, as the creator. I think sometimes you can find artists who may not really care too much what the project is. They just want some
Yeah,
commission work.
right. Yeah.
So when you kind of find somebody who's sort of half in it, you can run into delays, or maybe they might want to waver away from the project for something else. So kind of finding an art team that was as excited about making this book as I was, I think that was kind of a huge component.
Mhm.
All of the guys that work on Star Noir, like they tell me constantly how much it's one of their favorite projects, and I think that kind of translates and makes for a more stronger looking comic book. When the art team themselves, really are invested and want to make something as great as I want to make it.
This is true. I think this is something that every like amateur or first creator comes across is like finding the right people because you have no network yet, right? So you have to network. You have to find what works, what doesn't work, and once you have this core group, you go to people, right? Then setting up new projects goes much easier, much smoother.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, yeah. With my one of my earliest books, there was a creator, colorist, and we had reached our funding goal, and the colorist was like, "Oh, cool, congratulations on the Kickstarter. I'm gonna go work on this mainstream book, so I'll see you later." And you're
Oh
like, "Whoa,
no,
wait, now I have to go find another colorist now that I'm funded." So it kind of set this tone of like, all right, well, you got to find people who are like really committed to the project you're working on.
yeah, this is right. And sometimes you have people they stretch themselves too thin, right? They like colorists, they do like 3 4 projects, and sometimes you don't hear from them for weeks. And like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
uh,
Mm.
welcome, Matthew Creek.
Hello.
I think you pronounce it Creek. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. Can I mention my comic book giveaway? You have a comic book giveaway? Sure, man. Sure. Mention it. Can you find it somewhere? Excellent. Mike says that blatant, obvious vocal passion is so important and seemingly easy to overlook or try to ignore due to all the other stresses of production.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah, when you have you have this team with you that loves the project, that really helps. That helps, so you don't have to chase people, but also for promotion, and they help promote because they're proud of the product, right? Proud of the book.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that because some of those guys, they have bigger followings than I do, so it's great when they want to share the comic on their platforms.
Absolutely. It's on the Night Slayers website. All right. The Night Slayers website. Go check it out. The comic book giveaway. All right. Let's see what you have for us. Tony, let's bring up your campaign. I got it right here on Kickstarter. It's a Kickstarter campaign.
Yep. Kickstarter.
Share. I think we have to share the screen. There we go. And then we go to the Star Noir book 3 by Tony James. There we go. Look at this. Right. Look at you go, man. 150K. That's excellent.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. So we had a really strong campaign. This is the best. This is actually the best campaign that we've run so far for this series. But yeah, we still have late pledges still available. Yeah. But yeah, this was a really exciting campaign to run. People really kind of showed the readers. They also kind of show their passion for this series. So we had one of like the strongest day ones that we've had for the series. I think for reference, the first campaign for the first book, that first day it was like $700, and the day one for this one was like $6,000. So we've really kind of jumped.
Wow. Holy shit.
Really jumped. Yeah. So people are very, very into it, very passionate. And I've also brought in like a ton more readers this time, so that's also great.
So what do you think contributes to that rise in numbers?
I think it's a myriad of things sort of working together. I think you can't get around just a great story. I think that's something that's been tried and true for years. So it's having a great idea, a great execution of that idea, just a good looking book that can't be understated. But I also I keep the backers in the loop. For 2 books now, I have done updates twice a month. Just letting them know where how the pages are looking, what the ETA on certain things are. And I do that all the way to, all right, here's the tracking numbers for your packages. And then we just flip over to the next book. So I think keeping the backers constantly in the loop, and then also, just having a really good looking book and a really great story.
Precisely. Plus this can also only happen because you have like a dedicated creative team. When they don't produce work, you have no updates, right? So that really helps.
Yeah, there's always something to show in my updates because they're always working.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a new name in the chat. Welcome, Crenshaw.
Oh yeah,
welcome. Finished Star Noir 1 and 2 this past week. Jumped immediately into my favorites list. Wow.
Crenshaw, thanks for reading it. Yeah, the Crenshaw, I think threw up I can't remember. People keep taking pictures of their Star Noir books and putting them on Twitter. So it's really great to see. I don't know if Crenshaw did it, but it's always great to see when that happens. But thanks for being a reader.
Yeah, man, that's the best promotion you can get. Satisfied readers, right? And Mike says, well done on funding.
Oh, thank you. Yep. It's
Matthew Creek says, the cover reminds me of a Sci-Fi Channel movie. I forget which one. From back in the 90s. Okay.
Oh, you're probably thinking of Alien Nation.
Alien Nation. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
It was a movie, and then it was a TV series, and there's also a movie. I didn't grow up with either of them, so it's not a reference for me. But yeah, sometimes people will mention Alien Nation.
Welcome, Dr. Rhino. Welcome. Nice to see you, sir. Oh, and Crenshaw said I did post a picture working on a short video review. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, well, as soon as you have it, I'll definitely retweet it and and post it up.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent, man. That's fantastic. All right. Do you want us to watch the trailer to begin with?
Yeah, sure. It's only a minute long. It's does sort of like a previously on like it's like a TV show.
Previously. All right.
Hello again, readers. Last time in Los Angeles, our ace detective and his eager rookie set off to find their elusive killer. They confirmed that the mysterious shapeshifter lurks among Alan's fellow officers in Central Station. Alan had a close encounter with one of these strange beings, a real cookie with peepers to die for. He learns the Central detectives are being hunted and digs deeper to find out who killed Perkins. Meanwhile, Perkins' partner, Ray Foster, found himself in the soup, hunted by the very same killer. In our next chapter, the stakes are even higher, as our killer stacks more bodies than an OnlyFans model. Our two detectives peel back the layers to this onion, meeting kooky characters like Orson Welles. A collision course is imminent, with more twists and turns than a 10-cent carnival ride. Book 3 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, a lover of old noir and science fiction. Returning with vigor are his 3 able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And beat me Daddy 8 to the bar. Take a gander at those rewards. The exclusives are the real cat's meow. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Don't be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
Fantastic. That was cool.
Cool. Yeah. People really get a kick out of that voice. I used to do it. I just used to do it for my friends. And they were like, "Oh, you doing the Star Noir thing? Why don't you do the voice for the video?"
Yeah.
And so I did it, and people have loved it. So now I feel like I'm in for at least a couple more of these videos.
Yeah, man. It sounds authentic. Really cool.
Yeah.
Besides the references to modern day like things like OnlyFans and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. It was just it was a silly little joke. I just couldn't resist.
Really cool. 260 backers. That is crazy. That's fantastic work.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're watching, the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. If it's something you like to check out, please do. And if you back during the stream, let us know so we can have a little celebration.
Cool. There's actually there's a you can read the first 9 pages of the first book. There's a link to do that under the cover of the Star Noir.
Oh,
yeah, if you scroll a little bit, if you scroll a little bit under this cover here, there.
Oh wow.
And that'll take you to a PDF to read the first 9 pages of the first book, so you can kind of get a good taste of what Star Noir is all about.
So how many pages will this book be in total?
This new one is 50. They hover around the same, give or take a few pages. So each book is about similar in length. So so there's going to be 6 books in total. So there's the third one.
Oh, right. So do you just when you start writing, do you have a page number in mind, or do you stop writing when it's done?
Well, I mean, the whole script for the whole story is already written. So it's really more of just trying to pare it down, just to make sure, it's not overindulgent. Like it keeps a very snappy pace. So it's really just trying to consolidate, just trying to, try to make a scene tighter here and there, just try to reduce a couple pages. But yeah, it's the whole story is very fully realized right now. So we're just sort of moving production from one book to another.
Right. Let me see if I missed any. I think it was about police. Yeah. Oh wait, it was about a police officer teaming up with an alien parasite to stop another alien parasite. And Mike says, "Peepers." Is that a movie? Peepers.
I haven't heard of that. No.
And Mike says that movie was named The Hidden, and it's from 1987. Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Mike knows. Right. Yeah. Fantastic. So you wrote the story. It is six issues. So beforehand, you knew the complete story, or did you kind of discover the story when you started to write it?
When you initially write any story, there's some discovery that happens along the way. It's sort of like headlights in the fog. You can't really quite see until you keep getting a little bit closer to your destination. So there was some discovery in the initial script writing, but before I got to an artist and putting the art team together, the story was already complete. I knew exactly how each book was going to be, set out.
Mhm.
And yeah, so because I just didn't want to waste an artist's time. I didn't want to, and I also didn't want to do that thing where it's like, oh, well, actually, there's going to be a couple more pages for this book. Oh, actually, there's a few less pages. I didn't want any confusion. I wanted like an exact plan to make sure the whole production process ran as smoothly as possible.
Right. And each book is part of a bigger story, or do they also tell their own story?
No, this is all one narrative. It centers around these two detectives. Is Alan, who is our human detective, and Ellis, who is our gray alien, who is projecting a human image to everybody else, while Alan is the only one that can see his gray alien form. Yeah, it centers around this traffic detective named Patrick Perkins, who's killed in the opening of the first book. There's a lot of strange things that surround his death, namely his heart has been removed. And there's no fingerprints. And so they're trying to figure out. And then in the first book, Alan is met in the middle of the night by the gray alien, who lets him know that a shapeshifter is responsible for killing Alan's fellow officer and is also hiding in Central Station. So they also got to figure out which one of Alan's fellow detectives is not actually human. So there's kind of a lot of McCarthyism, like kind of looking over the shoulder. So they really don't know who could be the killer, but they know that they walk among them.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that sounds.
Yeah. So the second book kind of ends on a very kind of explosive ending. Those of you who are watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the third book really just tries to keep the foot on the gas pedal, and really try to top what it did in the second book.
Crenshaw says, I really liked the pace. I'm working on a comic script and shooting for the same pacing as these books.
Cool.
Wow,
I'm really flattered by that.
Yeah, you're actually inspiring other writers now.
Cool. Yeah. I just think that I just don't like I don't like overindulgence. I don't like when I'm watching a movie or a comic or something where a scene seems to overstay its welcome. There's a little it goes on for too long. I'm always very hyper aware of that because it's also I'm also tailoring the book to my sensibilities as a reader. It's like I'd like it, the pacing that Star Noir has is the type of pacing I'd like to have in all of my comic books.
Right. Yeah. Plus, when you make your own books, you have to pay for it, right? So you can't really afford any needless filler.
Right.
Every panel has to matter.
Yeah. This is a fun little chase sequence that we have between our gray alien character. This is a gangster that we introduced in the first book, so we get to kind of reintroduce him here. It's a fun dual chase sequence. Alan is kind of stealing a car while this is happening, and then they sort of converge and have it's a pretty fun action sequence. Something that we were trying to build towards for the first two books.
It's really interesting that Alan is like the typical gray, right? You didn't like go nuts with an alien design.
Yeah.
And it kind of fits like the era this takes place in also.
Well, yeah, the gray alien is very classic look.
Yeah.
For the 40s. So I thought it was really, really fitting. It didn't really seem it didn't seem that there was any reason to kind of create something crazy. Just it's the tried and true gray alien, I think, works here.
Yeah, precisely. Matthew Creek says, how many pages should be in the ash can for a 28-page comic? How many pages should be in the ash can for 28-page comic?
28 pages?
28? The
ash can.
The answer is in the question. But this artwork is fantastic, by the way. Really cool.
Pablo, he's from Argentina. He's done some stuff for Scout Comics. The colorist Vinicius from Brazil. He was working on some GI Joe stuff before it got when it was IDW, not Image. And yeah, they're very passionate. I can't also can't forget to give it up Marco, our letterer from Italy. Yeah, all of these guys they're very passionate about this story. It's interesting when you kind of work with an art team. There's sort of like the version you have in your head and the version that they come up with. And I feel like both of our versions are very close together.
Right. Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm sacrificing vision at all because their interpretation is very close.
Very close, right? But sometimes they can come up with something that you basically didn't think of, right? Does that happen?
Oh yeah, sure, all the time. It's I'm really more focused on the effect that it gives the reader, sort of the end results. So if a character I imagined was going to go left and they drew it right, as long as like they end up at the same kind of action sequence at the end, I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, it's great to work with people who are sort of creatively on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah, exactly. I zoomed in on this panel right here. Really cool. So the perspective works. You even have this slanted street, right?
Yeah.
Really cool. A lot of research also that the artist needs to do, and you also.
Yeah, actually, I do the research for them. I pulled
Okay.
together. Yeah, I pulled together a library of photos from the 40s. Even taking screenshots from the video game LA Noir.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. So yeah, and Rockstar when they created LA Noir, they really brought 1940s Los Angeles to life. So whenever there's like some kind of color reference that I need, I usually refer to the video game and or just photos from Los Angeles. There's a heap of those.
Right. Mike says great city scene panel.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, love it. Glenn, welcome, Glenn Fleming. Welcome, sir. Glenn is a fantastic artist. Also, Dave, Tony, great art. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Wait. Matthew asked. I meant how many should I show off for free? All right.
Oh, I think that's probably a case by case basis, whatever you're most comfortable with. I mean, I chose the 9 for Star Noir because it was just like a natural ending to like it was like what 3 scenes, and 9 was like the ending of like the natural ending to that last scene. So it's I just try to present something complete, just a complete idea. So just if you're gonna just show off one scene, just show them the one scene. Don't show them half a scene.
Right. Yeah, of course. And try not to show like spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Look at this. It is really cool. Like these I always like these car chase scenes in comics because you work with like static images and how do you like convey motion and speed and so when it works, that's really cool. You have to work together with the reader. The reader has to basically interpret everything moving.
Yeah.
But it's
they did the art team did a really great job with this action sequence.
what happens here?
So they almost collide with the trolley that comes into frame. The bad guy just narrowly avoids the trolley, and then Alan, our 2 detective Alan and Ellis, they almost collide with it, and then Ellis uses one of his gray alien powers of teleportation to kind of have the car that they've commandeered to go through the trolley instead of crashing into it.
Really cool. That's very cinematic.
Yeah, it's I really like how that came out. The rest of the action sequence is also equally pretty fun as well. It was tough to kind of figure out which 5 pages I wanted to show for the Kickstarter because there's just a lot going on in book 3. And then that's the murder mystery is continued. Some of Alan's fellow detectives have been killed at this point. And now in the 3rd book, the stakes kind of start to get raised, and more officers start to get killed, and they figure out more to do with how they understand more about how the initial officers were killed and sort of the motivations that went behind their killings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eastland asks, I like the colors. Your choices on the colors?
I guess in the abstract, just sort of like this is the color of the suits. This is sort of like the lighting of the kitchen. But the Venetius, he really chose this sort of vintage looking color style. Just the way that he kind of uses the brush strokes, just to kind of give it that very kind of classic, vintage feel that really is really fitting for this 1940s comic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike says, this looks like the most fun modern comic I've seen based in early Hollywood since Tinseltown published through Alterna Comics.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate
Do you
that.
know the series Tinseltown?
I know I have not, but
Me neither. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, sir.
but comparing it to something that's been published that's a pretty
Yeah.
good compliment.
Yeah. But it looks really professional, man. Really good.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It's-
Yeah,
it's-
that's from the first book. Some scenes from the first book,
Right.
just to catch people up.
A little bit gory.
Yeah, yeah. We don't shy away from the gory because we want to, we want to make this alien shapeshifter who's going around killing other detectives just feel as very very dramatic and high stakes as possible. So we don't shy away from that.
Right. So the way these people talk, right? So what, as a writer, did you find it difficult to get the way people spoke in that era, to get that right?
Not really, because I watch a lot of movies from the 1940s, so I have just sort of naturally a lot of that rattling around in my head. But I also have in my Word document that outlines the whole story. There's a section that's just 1940s slang,
Okay.
and every now and again when I'm reviewing a scene, it's like, oh, use this, use the ticker's gone missing, like
Yeah.
let that use that instead of whatever the generic thing I had originally said. So it's it helps to make everything feel a little bit more authentic, so you really feel like you're in 1940s LA.
Really cool, man.
Yeah, this is the car that is initially found on the 6th Street Bridge. There's still more mysteries to unravel pertaining to this car. We get some answers in the first book, some more in the second one, and as the mystery goes on, we get more and more information about this initial murder that opens the first book.
Right. Wow, you thought about this story. Matthew asked, "Fund my comic versus Kickstarter. Who's better?"
Well, I
Do you-
haven't done a Fund My comic, so I can't speak on that.
But I have, and it kind of depends on what you want. They both function, but Fund My comic is pretty new, so they're missing certain features that you kind of want as a creator, especially when it's not one book. When you have one book, Fund My comic is perfect, but when you have like 17 books, like we have, like you want to throw in add-ons, right? You want to offer people options, and then the Kickstarter functions better, I think.
Okay.
But besides that, they're both good.
Cool.
Crenshaw says it's a fun book to read out loud. Lots of distinct voices.
Cool.
So
Yeah, one of the things I think all writers should do is read their dialogue out loud. So you really know if something sounds silly or not. My scripts they're read to me in a robotic voice. So when you hear dialogue that's terrible in a dry tone robotic voice, it makes it sound even dumber. Yeah, reading your stuff out loud I think is really helpful to make sure you have distinct voices.
So you mean you have this program that reads it out to you?
Yeah, Final Draft has like a read aloud feature on it. And it'll just read it, and you can kind of tweak it to sound a little bit more masculine or feminine, but like it's still a very dry, robotic, monotone voice.
Right.
So when a line of dialogue is very goofy and inauthentic, it really just highlights how silly it is.
Okay, so it actually helps that it's not like
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the initial meeting between Alan and Ellis. Alan initially he sees a gray alien talking to the captain, and then he barges in with his gun drawn and sees Ellis's human form, who we kind of see predominantly in the story. So this is sort of their meeting moment in the first book.
All right. So this on the you can't see my mouse, but this guy on the left, that's the alien.
Yeah, Ellis, on the
Right.
far left there.
All right. In human shape.
Yeah.
So what happened that his partner can see him for real, like he is?
Oh, it's like it's a little bit of a spoiler, but there's like a mental projection that Ellis is casting onto everybody else. But there is a specific story reason why Alan, our human detective, can see Ellis's gray alien form, which we haven't gotten to, but there is a part of the story that will address that.
All right. All right.
This is the shapeshifter that's killing officers in its reptilian form. This Ray Foster is another one of Alan's fellow detectives. Has a run-in with this shapeshifter in book 2. Things don't go so great, but yeah, that's kind of a taste of what book 2's like.
Cool, man.
And then we've got prints from the books. We do that for every campaign. Just pull two panels that we think are great, and like make them postcards. Stickers, which is was just the thing that a lot of my backers are requested. When I back books, I'm not much of a sticker guy, but they requested they really wanted some stickers for this project, so we hooked that up. We also did the cover for as a poster for the third book. We do them for all the covers. This one is inspired by the movie Touch of Evil, that is directed and stars Orson Welles, who we get to meet in the third book. So I thought it was very fitting.
Great.
And then another thing that backers requested was more things in black and white. They really want to go full noir with the story. So we did the covers. For all 3 books as posters, and then we're also doing a limited print run of black and white books for some backers.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask if you ever considered like doing the books in black and white, but you are.
We're doing a limited print run for that. We broke one of our stretch goals was for everybody to get black and white PDFs of each of the books. So even if you don't back the black and white physical book tier, you'll still get a digital version of all those books in black and white.
Okay, that's cool. That's fast. Let's see. You have. These are the books, and be drawn into the book.
Well, this sold out in like 30 minutes. So it's not an available reward anymore. But the Pablo, or the artist, he has this kind of tendency to put a lot of character, a lot of like side characters, like people who are not actual part of the story. And so I just thought it'd be great if we could have some of our backers, be drawn into these types of characters that you see here. And people were very excited about it, and they backed it immediately. I got the five backers are going to appear in book 3.
Great. There's also the perfect book for something like this. For instance, you have like superhero comics and have this specific style, and when you draw in someone based on a real person, then it stands out. It doesn't blend in, right? But with this style, it just fits.
And then there's all of the add-ons for the previous campaigns we've done so far. You can get the first 2 books here, which I have right there. These are yours.
So book 1 and book 2, and this guy always has this little like what's it called, Band-Aid on his chin?
His bandage. Yeah, there's in the first book he gets roughed up by a couple of gangsters in a bar, and so it's sort of a result of that.
Right.
Gives him a nice kind of hard-boiled, no nonsense look, I think.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Yeah. We started doing baseball cards, where we did character stats for some of the Central Station detectives. So we do the badge on one side, on the back it's the character, some of their character stats, and even like the type of gun that they use that you kind of see in the story. We actually one of our stretch goals that we broke is Ray Foster, the one that was being attacked by that green shapeshifter there.
Hmm.
So he'll have his own card. So if you back the book, you'll also get that brand new card.
How did Alice Tate get his name when he's this alien? It's probably not his real name, right?
No, it's more of like a tongue-in-cheek humorous thing, just so he can, because he when he first introduced himself to Alan, he says, "I'm Alice Tate. They call me ET for short." So we just kind of do a cheeky little nod to calling him an alien in kind of this believable way.
Crenshaw asks, do you have particular movies or books that you pulled inspiration from?
Yeah, there's a book called The Big Nowhere. It's part of the same book series as LA Confidential. So say by the same writer. LA Noir is a big influence just in terms of like the atmosphere of kind of making the audience kind of feel like they're in 1940s Los Angeles. And then old 1940s movies like Detour. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you want a 1940s like idiom machine where they're just firing off these constant like 1940s phrases, Detour is a movie that is just chock full of those things. And then also kind of classic noir ones like the Blue Dahlia, which is the name of the hotel that they're at. So yeah, a lot of influences. And then also like growing up with like the X-Files, kind of getting as much as you can say about the X-Files is sort of like grounded interpretation of aliens, just which makes it kind of, the believability is what makes it creepier,
Mhm.
where it
Right.
doesn't feel too fantastical.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Thank you for the questions, guys. Really cool. And then you have
If
some more
you're
books.
Yeah, I was just say, if you're a new reader wanting to jump in, the catch-up tiers are called the Sixth Extinction. That's the
Oh, the
I think you
catch-up
have to
here.
I think you have to move the mouse over to the reward side to scroll.
Oh, sorry. Right.
There you go. Yeah, so these are all just for the book two, third book, prints,
House of
stickers.
Snakes.
Yeah, so this is that's the Pine Bluff variant is the digital catch-up tier if you just want to read them digitally.
All right.
And then the one after that is called the Sixth Extinction, and that gets you all 3 books. And yeah, people really love the print quality of the books. Crenshaw, I can definitely vouch. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's so this is your way in if you're a brand new reader and you want to jump into Star Noir.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you're almost halfway there. The third book, 3 of 6. Welcome, Sim. Welcome. Guys, subscribe to Sim Inkslayer, his YouTube channel. He does artwork, so go check it out. Really cool, man. Let's see if you got some new backers. Never know. 260. I think Kickstarter like updates automatically, right? But you're doing great, man. 260 backers. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's higher than the first book. So it's
Yeah. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, it seems to work. So
yeah. Yeah, we're having a great time. I'm glad that everybody's loving it. The enthusiasm is what really puts the pressure on future books. So we're not working on
Right.
3 with our feet up. We're very much like, no, it's got to top the second book or we're gonna lose the audience. So we're working really hard on the third book. We really want people to be impressed by it.
Yeah, I know. I at least when we publish this new book, there's always this sense of like nervousness, like how will people react You know,
Yeah.
you think it's the best thing ever, but you never know, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Crenshaw asked, "Will there eventually be a collected edition of all 6 books?"
Yep, of course. Yeah, once we're done, I mean, Star Noir, you know, its final form is supposed to be the collected. You're supposed to read it all together. So once we get to that, we'll do nice hardcovers. We'll do black and white versions of it. So I can't wait to get to that final book to where we do them all together.
Wow, that will be a big book, by the way. Like
Oh yeah,
300
yeah,
pages. Holy
yeah,
shit.
it'll be pretty big, a little heavy.
Wow. Thank you for the question. Thank you all so much, guys. Really, really cool. Right. Before we close off, guys, before we close off, is there something that we need to know about the campaign? That you want people to know?
Yeah, you can. There are late pledges, so you can back it at any time. We'll be keeping the door open for you guys if you're interested in reading Star Noir. Yeah, so yeah, you can back it at any time, and then we're always updating, so you'll constantly be hearing from us the entire way through making the book.
Right.
So yeah.
Plus, you can read the first 9 pages. So through the link, go to the campaign, go check it out, guys. Share this campaign with everybody. Share it on social media. Talk about it. Let's get some more backers in because this book looks fantastic and the reviews sound good. People seem to like it. So go check it out. Right. Let me share something else before we close because I have my own thing also going on, guys. I have, let's go. Perfect 10, book 5, POWERTRIP book 2. This is Indiegogo, but you can also find it on Found My Comic, and there is a sign-up page on Kickstarter, but that won't launch until early next year. So, but you can back it here. This is something else completely. So if you like superhero stuff, colorful, like superhero action, adventure, complete universe, we're building everything here for you guys. This is really, really cool. This is book 5 of Perfect 10. The story is about this artificial assassin who is created to kind of kill super powered villains. There are too many villains. The superheroes can't handle it. But there's one like Synthoid, as she's called, number 10, and she doesn't want to do that anymore. She wants to be a superhero. But meanwhile, all these villains are after her for all that she did when she was still this assassin. There's a lot going on, a lot of characters, a lot of layers, politics, a lot of stuff. Is really cool. This is my best work ever, guys. I'm really proud of it. I'm working together with Pau Rodrigues, and Pau Rodrigues worked for DC. He worked for Marvel, and he made 2 covers. So this is cover B. So this is cover A, cover B. You see 10 in this like super armor. It's very 90s, guys. So here you see some of the artwork. This panel is based on a cover from Mike Deodato Jr. from a Wonder Woman book from 30 years ago. Really cool, double page spread. Oh man, so great. This book is everything that you want from superheroes. So if you're kind of done with the mainstream, go check this out. We offer alternative.
I like the colors on this. Are there now? It's called Perfect 10. Are there going to be 10 issues?
No, there will be 6.
Oh, okay, cool. I would be like, figured there's perfect 10 issues for the book called Perfect 10.
Yeah, maybe there will be 10. If maybe, you never know, right? But the first story arc ends with issue 6. So, and we can make it only because of you wonderful backers. So thank you all so much, guys. Each book introduces new characters. We have so many characters, and pencil work by Pau. Look at this, man. And ink work by Thiago Gomez, and colors by Daniel Rodriguez. Very bright. It's all very it's just 90s superhero stuff. And then we have the POWERTRIP book, which is this book, which is done, which is printed, completely done, guys. these are 3 shorter stories made by different creative teams. We have Shadow Lion, and the artist on Shadow Lion is right now working for Marvel. He does Moon Knight. And it's so these 3 stories all take place in the genuine comics superhero universe. So everything we make is in the same world. This is the Flying Dutchman. He's like Superman from the Netherlands, you know. It's written by myself, also drawn by Pow, who also does Perfect 10. And lastly, we have the Phenomenals, which is a group of superpowered heroes, but they failed to get through the academy that you need to go through to become a official superhero. So they start their own group, right? Really cool. Drawn by Gilbert Monsanto, written by Lee Baron, cover from the Company Man. And you can also get your own character commission. So Pow will draw you any character you want. Can be your own character, can be a mainstream, can be genuine verse, whatever you want, and you will get a original sent to you, plus a high-res scan. You can use it for anything you want, and you can get free cards. We offer new cards with every campaign. These are collector cards. You can collect them all. So these are cards 19 and card 20. That's how long we've been doing this right now. And we have the stretch goal unlocked for the triple print set. All right, the link to this is also in the description of this video, guys. Share, and then we end screen shares. There we go. There we go. Tony, thank you so much for being my guest for today and showing us your wonderful campaign, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I had a great time talking to you.
And Crenshaw says, I'm definitely going to get into Perfect 10 as soon as I can. What's the best way to catch up? You can either go to Indiegogo or to Fund My Comic. On both platforms, we offer a catch-up tier where you can get all 5 books, either digital or physical, and you can also select your own covers that you prefer for issue 5, right? And for issue, I think issue 3 and 4, you get random covers depending on what we still have. But all books are still available. So go check that out. Thank you so much. Chat, thank you for being here with us. For the questions, for the likes, please like this conversation. If you like the conversation, please give it a like. If you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike. And I'm very sorry. I will be back Friday. So I have my regular stream next Sunday, but I snuck in this extra stream because there are so many awesome creators with awesome campaigns, and I want to help them out before the campaign ends. So next Friday we have another extra drink with Brink. I hope to see you guys then. Let me see where my video is. I need to look every time. Right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. See you next time. Bye.